Phew. Talk about a day in the crypto markets, huh? I mean, up, down, sideways, breaking news left and right.
Yeah, it's been a wild one for sure.
My listeners want to know what's going on. What's really behind all this action? So today we're diving deep into crypto, deep dives, crypto market report from, today, November 21st, 2024.
It really gives you a sense of just how quickly things can change in crypto.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so Bitcoin, let's start there.
Right.
It practically hit $97,000 today.
Almost, yeah.
And get this, the report says Bitcoin ETFs just blew past like $100 billion in assets under management.
That's a huge milestone. I mean, that's got to be a sign that the big institutions are getting comfortable with Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, it feels like finally, like they're taking it seriously as an asset class.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's not just about confidence, it's about access and strategy. ETFs provide a way for these institutions to get exposure to Bitcoin, but in a familiar way.
Right, in a way that they understand. They're used to ETFs.
Exactly. And the liquidity that ETFs offer is also something that these institutions need. They need to be able to get in and out of positions easily.
So it's not just like people FOMOing into Bitcoin, right? There's a deeper, more strategic thing happening here.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so Bitcoin's hogging the headlines, but Ethereum is also up.
It is, yeah. It's having a good day too, though maybe not as dramatic as Bitcoin.
Right. A little more steady.
Right.
The report mentions Vitalik Buterin. He's been talking a lot about these layer 2 solutions.
Yeah.
Can you break that down for us? Like, what are they, and why should we care?
Sure. So Ethereum, it's a powerful platform, but it's got this scalability problem. It can only process a certain number of transactions every second.
Okay, right.
And that leads to, congestion and high fees, which is not ideal for everyday use.
No, definitely not.
And so layer 2 solutions are trying to address that. They're trying to increase the speed and lower the cost of using Ethereum, but without changing Ethereum itself, its core strengths.
So more than just like adding an extra lane to the highway, right?
Exactly. It's like building a whole new highway system that runs parallel to the existing one.
Oh, okay. Interesting analogy.
So you've got these separate networks that sit on top of the main Ethereum blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
And they handle the transactions off-chain. So they bundle them all together and then submit them back to Ethereum for final processing.
Ah, okay. So it takes a lot of the load off of Ethereum itself.
Exactly.
So there are like different flavors of layer 2s.
Yeah, there are different approaches, yeah.
Okay.
Like optimistic rollups, those are faster, but they rely on fraud proofs to maintain security. And then you've got zero-knowledge rollups. Those offer, even stronger security guarantees. They can be a little bit more complex to actually implement.
So different approaches for different needs and different levels of, like, I guess, risk tolerance?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Okay, so it sounds like the layer 2 space is where a lot of the innovation is happening.
It's a hot area for sure, yeah.
But speaking of innovation, Solana, I mean, this is kind of a shocker. It's passing Ethereum in terms of activity.
Yeah. Yeah, at least according to Nansen, which is a well-respected blockchain analytics platform.
So what's going on there? What's fueling this Solana surge?
Well, Solana is really appealing to developers and users because it's got faster transaction speeds and lower fees than Ethereum. And this is particularly attractive in the DeFi space and the NFT markets.
Right. Those are two areas where speed and low fees are really, really important.
Exactly.
Okay. So is Solana like a real threat to Ethereum? Like, is Ethereum on its way out?
I don't think it's about one replacing the other. I think it's more about different platforms serving different needs and priorities. Ethereum has this huge developer community, a massive first mover advantage. It's the foundation for so much of what's happening in DeFi and NFTs.
Right.
But Solana is offering a compelling alternative, especially for, applications that really need speed and affordability.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think this competition is ultimately a good thing. It pushes both platforms to innovate and improve, and that's good for the whole ecosystem.
Right. So healthy competition can be a good thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, the crypto market report doesn't just focus on the good stuff.
Right.
It also It also dives into some of the darker side of crypto, the outages, the exploits. It even mentions a scandal brewing.
Right.
And it's a good reminder that this space, while it's exciting, it's also, still relatively young and comes with risks.
Yeah, for sure. We can't just ignore the challenges. I mean, look at what happened with the SUI network today.
Oh, SUI.
Right.
Remind me, what is that?
It's another layer one blockchain like Ethereum or Solana.
Yeah.
It's been getting a lot of attention for its speed and scalability.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened?
Well, there was this bug,
Okay.
and it caused the network to stop producing blocks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for a couple hours. It was a pretty major disruption.
Oof, that's never good.
No, it was resolved fairly quickly, but events like this, they can really shake confidence. And, it was reflected in the price of the SUI token, which took a bit of a dip as a result.
Yeah. Outages like that are a stark reminder that even, these really promising blockchain projects are still vulnerable to, technical glitches.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, there's the whole cybersecurity issue, which is always a concern in the crypto world. The report mentions CZ, the CEO of Binance, putting out a warning about this exploit targeting macOS and iPhones.
Right.
So what's going on with that? What do people need to know?
Well, this particular exploit, it allows hackers to potentially steal crypto assets from users of certain macOS and iPhone apps.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a reminder that we all need to be, extra vigilant about security.
Yeah, definitely.
Strong passwords, two-factor authentication, and be really careful about the apps we download and the links that we click on.
All good advice, especially in the world of crypto. Yeah, it's like a whole digital Wild West out there. And speaking of wild, the report also mentions this scandal in China.
Oh, right, their digital yuan project.
Yeah, the former head of the project is facing corruption charges. What's the impact of that? Like, especially for China's big plans to be a leader in the whole CBDC world?
I mean, it's a big setback, that's for sure. This whole scandal raises concerns about, transparency and oversight.
Right.
And it could definitely slow down adoption of the digital yuan. It also just highlights the challenges of, centralized control when it comes to digital currencies.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic, right? Like they want to be this leader in CBDCs, but then they have this very centralized approach to it.
Exactly. And this incident could make other countries, think twice about adopting a similar model.
So it could have a ripple effect across the whole global CBDC landscape.
It could, yeah.
But even with all this serious news, there's still so much hype and speculation driving the market.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The report mentions meme coins like Baby Doge and DYM. They're still surging.
It's crazy.
Even though, they don't really have much real-world use.
Right.
So what's your take on that? Is it just pure FOMO, or is there something more to it?
I think FOMO is definitely a factor, but there's also this, strong community aspect to meme coins. They tap into online trends and create this sense of shared excitement.
It's almost like a social experiment, right? Watching how these tokens gain traction just based on hype.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
But also, a little bit risky.
Yeah. Investing in meme coins feels more like gambling than a sound investment strategy.
I'd have to agree with you there.
Okay. So meme coins, a gamble. Got it. But speaking of strategy, I want to go back to what the report said about Germany selling off its Bitcoin holdings way too early. Like, ouch, they missed out on billions.
Yeah, it's a tough lesson.
It really highlights that whole debate between holding for the long term, HO dealing, as they say in the crypto world, versus knowing when to take profits.
Right. It's a classic dilemma. All investors face it.
So how do you find that balance? Is there a right or wrong way to approach it?
I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all answer. It really depends on your individual, risk tolerance, your investment goals, your beliefs about the future of crypto.
Right.
Some people are convinced that, holding no matter what will lead to massive gains.
Okay.
And others prefer a more active approach, buying low, selling high.
So it's not just about being a diehard HO dealer.
Exactly. Taking profits can be a smart move. It allows you to diversify your portfolio, reinvest your gains, even, just secure some financial stability.
Okay, so it's about having a plan. Like whatever that plan is, just stick to it.
Exactly. Whether that's HO dealing or taking a more, tactical approach.
Okay, that makes sense. But before we wrap up this roller coaster ride through the markets, I have to ask about the the political landscape.
Right.
The report mentioned pro-crypto leaders making gains in the recent U.S. elections.
Yeah.
What kind of impact do you think that could have on the future of the industry, especially when it comes to, regulation?
Well, the political climate is huge for crypto, right? I mean, one of the biggest hurdles right now is regulatory uncertainty.
Right. Makes it hard for businesses to operate, hard for investors to feel confident.
Exactly. So having more crypto-friendly voices in government could lead to, clearer regulations, which would be huge.
So less red tape, more innovation.
Potentially.
That's got to be a win for the crypto community.
Yeah, but remember, the political process is complex. Even with a more favorable Congress, there's going to be, debates, compromises, and the crypto landscape is global. Yeah. What happens in the U.S. has, ripple effects everywhere.
So it's not just about what's happening in Washington, D.C.
Exactly. Regulations are evolving in different countries at different paces. It's a patchwork.
So it's a fluid situation.
Very much so, yeah.
Okay, well, that's a good reminder to stay informed, right? Keep an eye on what's happening all over the world.
Absolutely.
And before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier about scarcity in the crypto world.
Right.
The report highlighted XRP. It saw a price jump after a big token burn.
Yeah.
Can you explain what a token burn is and why it matters? Like, why should investors care?
Sure. So a token burn is basically a way to reduce the total supply of a cryptocurrency.
Okay.
It's like, taking a stack of dollar bills and just setting them on fire.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Gone forever.
So in the case of XRP, they burned 13 million tokens. Just poof, gone.
So why would anyone want to do that? Like, destroy their own tokens? Seems kind of counterintuitive.
It does, yeah. But it all comes down to economics, the principle of scarcity.
Right, supply and demand.
Exactly. When the supply of something goes down, but the demand stays the same or even goes up, the value tends to increase.
So are they trying to make the remaining XRP more valuable by burning some of it?
That's the idea.
Okay. So this token burn, along with the legal stuff that's been going on with XRP and its growing use in payments.
Yeah, it's getting some attention for sure.
The report even suggested that XRP could hit $6.40.
It's definitely possible.
Okay. So token burns can potentially boost the value of a cryptocurrency.
They can, yeah.
But as we've been discussing, this market is notoriously volatile. I mean, so many factors can influence prices.
Right. It's not just about scarcity or even, utility. We've seen how hype and speculation, even political events, can play a role.
Yeah. So it's a lot to consider.
It is, yeah. It's a complex ecosystem. You can't just look at one thing in isolation. You got to see the bigger picture.
Right. So the regulatory landscape, tech advancements, market sentiment, even like global economic trends.
All of it, yeah.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It is. And I think the most important takeaway for any crypto investor, whether you're just starting out or you've been doing this for a while, is to stay curious, stay informed, and be adaptable.
Don't just like set it and forget it.
Right. Engage with the community, read articles, listen to podcasts, never stop learning.
Yeah, because this landscape is constantly changing. Well, that brings us to the end of our crypto roller coaster deep dive. It's been quite a ride exploring the highs and lows of this market. Thanks for guiding us through it all.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us. We hope you learned a thing or two. And remember, the world of crypto is full of possibilities, but it's also, full of risks. Stay informed, stay curious, and as always, do your own research.